Hey everyone, this is Liz, and I want to start off a short series on coaching your way into like a positive mental attitude where your insides are really super resilient and positive, and you can actually begin to feel on the inside that deep level of self-concept and self-confidence and sovereignty to know that any challenges you face in life are just interesting challenges, and you just pull up your big girl or big boy overalls and just move forward and figure it out anyway. I'm telling you, whether you're successful or you're not successful, you will have challenges. We all do, right? And some of us were born into places where it's more challenging or less challenging. But wherever we are on this earth plane, we can certainly become certainly more confident and more resilient. And not to worry, by the end of this short lesson, I'm going to show you different ways, different avenues of how to begin that process. I'm sure many of you are already on this journey. So I want to tell you, at least from the Upanishads, you may not have seen this particular quote. Um, you are what your deepest desire is. I believe we come to this earth plane with passions, drives, and desires that are how we're wired and actually what we're supposed to be doing. Now, culture and our families and teachers tell us we need to do this and do that and make the money and do the things and do the other things. But really, it is true you create your own reality. And it is true that if you live your passions and move forward with confidence and you're stepping over your challenges, moving through them, that you can have the life you want. And believe me or not at this moment, but hope by the end of my series, uh, you'll get it more. So you are what your deepest desire is. As is your desire, so is your intention. When you have these deep desires, it can set an intention where, I really want to start a business. I want to make soap. I love making soap. I have soap. I make it on my kitchen counter, but I don't know how to get it to the people, right? And as you have that intention, passion, drive, desire, it creates your will. You have a will to get up and go, I'm going to research those recipes. I'm going to figure out labeling for the packaging and how to make sure it's hygienic and how to market it. And as you have that desire and drive and will, that controls your, not controls, it drives your actions. So I hope to move you in this series to think about, instead of doing all the have tos on your to do list every day, moving from that. I would say start there if you know nothing else. But to move from that to do list, like, oh gosh, do I take the kitten to the vet or do I pay that bill? Where you just live life where you're in flow and you're just doing the next right thing. So it starts with attitude. Attitude is everything, it's huge. And I would say if you do nothing else in life, improve your attitude. It makes you healthier, helps you, want to be around you more, right? And you can actually look at all areas of your life, your relationships, your career, your health, your weight, nutrition, your money, all those things as almost like pieces of pie in a pie tin. And you can take a look and go, oh, well, whoops, my relationship side, I'm not getting along with her right now, or well, my money could be better. And you can look at the areas where you might want to grow. So as you learn at least the processes I'm going to present, it could inspire you, spur you onto learning other and more things, and maybe reading some of the new thought authors for law of attraction and having a magnetic life of and attracting what you want and manifesting. Maybe the kinds of things you want to work on first. And I also want to share something that might um, trigger some who are listening. And that is, I'm going to tell you, I am here to tell you that every excuse you make for not doing something is a sabotage of some sort deep in the subconscious. Because maybe we were created this way, or we were learned to be this way, but we have self-sabotage programs running in the subconscious. I will get to in this series how to think about that, what to do about it. But it's at every level an excuse, whether it's the car accident or the injury, the sickness or the busyness, or it's not perfect, I'm not ready, the social media post isn't ready, or I need to have my presentation perfect. Like as you can tell, this presentation is not perfect. I just turned on the microphone and went, bloop, here we go. I need to do more research. The website's not ready. It is a stalling perspective. It's not moving on an inspired action. So I just ask you to think, are you just stalling yourself? Are you going to be able to try to move on inspired action? I mean, I can tell you from my own work and the work of others and helping coaching others that when you first start something, you tend to suck at it, right? Your first website, your first presentation, your first talk in front of others, your first developing your own sense of clothing style, makeup, whatever it is, shaving pattern on your face. We suck at first. But as we improve our attitude, we can move past the stalling. Hate on me if you like, we can move past the stalling. So I'm going to ask you, do you may want to make excuses or do you want to have results? Do you want, I sometimes equate excuses with victimhood. Now, hate on me if you like, but Are we making excuses for why we're not doing the thing, even if we will really suck at it at first? I'm saying suck on purpose. It's perfect on purpose because it's an impactful, ugly word, but it's true. It's like we really stink. We can really suck when we begin at something. If you want to look at my first YouTube videos, I sucked. But I'm going to tell you that your own passion, your own spirit will guide you and lead you in steps on the way. Remember Steve Jobs in his book, he talks about as you look past or look at your past, the life you created for yourself, you can see the connecting dots to how this thing led to that thing, to that failure, led to that win or success, and that failure led you to learn that, or, leave this person and be with this person. It's hard to see the dots toward the future. I think if we saw the dots toward our future, I know in my life, if I'd seen that I was going to be in the army and get commissioned at age 46 and then jump out of an airplane, I would have been like, oh, heck no. And I would have hidden under the bed, not under the covers, under the bed. So, what is attitude? Here's some things I think about, and I'll describe them a little bit to you as I read them. It's a sense of service to others, being able to serve others and help others. It's a sense of having a cheerful and resilient attitude. Just wake up like, I'm not saying don't be righteously angry and annoyed at people. The person who cut you off on the road, sure, make the curse, the expletive, but then you get over it. You're resilient and you just drive on. You don't pull up alongside them and give them the finger or something. I'm not saying don't have a righteous whatever response to life, but I'm saying be resilient, be able to bounce back. It's a sense of being able to step into leadership if you're asked to or you want to. It's a sense of feeling limitless. You can just be anybody, anything you want. I mean, Liz at 61, am I going to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback in this life? No, most likely not. So I'm not going to say you can do anything, but you can do most things that you want in the world or something very similar. Having a sense of being able to get up and do it now. If you want to do something, don't say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. It's that putting that off, the making excuses thing we were talking about. Can you just make a decision? Just do it now. Having a feeling of a sense of growth and expansion where you're growing and developing and becoming a bigger, more perfect version of yourself. It's that sense of success, even with the failures and the triggers, the trip ups and the problems, the challenges, the projects that we have. It's, knowing that you're moving forward. It's that sense of calm and serenity and poise of knowing, okay, all right, what's next? It's, as I said, that ability to handle adversity. Can you just get over your stumbling blocks? Can you move past them? A lot of times I'll say to myself, okay, that's interesting. What's next? And I might have a grumble or two for sure. But then I move forward and go, okay, what's next? What do we do about this? It's a sense of accountability, like owning your shit. So, and I'm saying it that way on purpose too. Like if you make a mistake, you forget something, freaking own it. Being accountable to doing what you say you're going to do, making your apologies, just, and not hiding behind excuses or some sort of ego challenges. Being who you are on the inside out. So if we could all read each other's minds, would you be telling me to F off right now? Or would you be going, oh, cool, I'm interested. What is it? Are you the same person on the inside as the outside? Can you have that authenticity, right? Are you able to make a decision at the right time? I'm not saying, some of us, we've studied human design recently. Some of us need to wait to make a decision, but when you're ready and you're ready to make the decision, do you make it? I had worked with a client once who took a year to start to create her website because she was stalling for so long. She wanted the website, but she just wouldn't do it. When you're ready to make the decision, do you make it? Do you just go ahead and do it? I'm not saying being impulsive, but when you're ready, do you make the decision? I remember another woman who was a hiking partner. She took about 6 months to decide on a pair of hiking boots, the right brand to get. She couldn't decide because she was just wobbling, I'm not talking, you need to be better at that. Make a decision when you need to, right? Also, setting a standard for yourself. Do you have a set of personal standards? Like I'll tell my clients, only A+ relationships. Of course, except if you are with a family member you can't leave at this moment. And by the way, you can work on that too, and I can tell you how to do that. But do you have a standard for yourself? And I'm not talking like going up to a person and saying, you're not A+, so I'm dumping you. I'm saying you can do the inner work, all the tips and tricks and techniques I'm going to offer you, and have the relationship you'll find will just kind of soothe its way out of your life in a gentle way. They may actually end up not contacting you anymore when it's not a correct relationship anymore. I'm not saying be ugly about it, but can you have an only A+ relationships in your life? Set your standard. Like, what are you going to put up with and not put up with? How are you going to let people talk to you? Also having a standard in how we react and behave toward others, right? Do you have an image of where you want to go, an image of yourself, an image of where you want to go, of who you want to be, your body shape, your fitness, your health, your professionalism, your relationships, how you are in relationship, things like that. And also that attitude, I'm thinking of a swagger, like a dog, like savage swagger, like knowing you own the place. I also teach a concept called owning the room. And I'm not talking in an arrogant way. I'm talking about owning the room with that poise and self-confidence where everyone looks to you for answers and stuff. Being that savage, being that outlier too, thinking outside the box and not letting society, again, we want to do this in good, savage, and what do I want to say, smart ways, not just to give the finger to the world and possibly have retribution, but be an outlier in a safe, good, smart way. Having a really super self-concept and personal self-confidence, right? Now I say in my coaching that 97% of the folks won't get there because they don't do the inner work or don't think they even can or deserve it. Let's lower that percentage. Don't pay attention to the 97%. You can do this. You can surely do this. I'm going to say that we all face adversity, whether we're successful or unsuccessful. It's how you handle it that's vital. So I put it this way. An amateur will cringe or be angered by challenges, but an elite performer will think, oh, okay, what's next? This is interesting. Instead of going, oh my God. Ah. And again, a little quick grumble is one thing, but the continued ranting and complaining is not the best. Remember, an elite performer thinks, oh, okay, interesting. What's next? So how do we create a great attitude? How do we do it? Well, I'm going to share all the things that I do or have done, and feel free to put in the comments below the types of things that you do. If you want to stop this video and take a picture, because maybe this print is small, here's the thing to try. I've done all of these things. So first of all, if you're on a journey, you're feeling stuck or not sure what to do, to begin to do some of that inner work. And remember, I'm going to give you really detailed techniques that I teach. It's just I wanted to inspire you today. You can do Western medicine. I had a friend recently who had sepsis throughout her body. Regardless of how alternative we are, she needed her antibiotics. A nurse came to the house and administered them. Sometimes, or you're in a traumatic situation, you might need Western medicine. I had to throw that up and out there. Also, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reintegration, vagal nerve reset. You can do something like that with a counselor. You can journal. You can meditate. I know we know these things. I'm just restating them. You can find a faith or have a spirituality. You can do or practice some sort of ceremony. There's lots of different kinds, right? From the different faith groups, from a shamanic perspective or a Wiccan, pagan perspective. You can have talismans, crystals and the like, certain types of jewelry and things like that that are talismans. You can do autosuggestion and set intentions for yourself. We're going to talk about that more. Autosuggestions are things like subliminals, or I'm sorry, like affirmations you say out loud to yourself or write out, right? Say to yourself in the mirror. We're going to get into all that. Setting an intention for yourself. Doing emotional freedom technique, a very powerful technique that uses tapping. It's also called tapping. Quantum rewiring, which is my system. Emotion code, which is Dr. Bradley Nelson's stuff. Emotion code and the body code is very powerful. You can do shamanic style soul journeying or retrieval or vision quests. You can do QHHT and other types of hypnosis. These things are very useful. You can do candle work. And by this, I mean setting an intention or having a prayer with a candle. And you can use different oils or different herbs and things around the candle. I've done that a lot. You can do body work like structural integration, which is also called Rolfing, massage, things like that. You can do mantras, yantras, which are looking at an image. This is yoga philosophy. So you can study yogic philosophy, which is where the Upanishads quote came from earlier. Stoic philosophy. I think everybody needs a little stoicism in their life. Like, why me? Why not me? Remember your death. We're all going to be gone someday. What do you want your legacy to be while you're here? Of course, exercise and nutrition. All right. These things aren't listed in order. They're listed in the order I threw them up and remembered them. You can do plant medicines in safe and legal places. Entheogens, all sorts. You can have retreats for yourself. Go on different various health and healing retreats. By the way, it's not just the one workshop that will heal you. I say to my clients, it's a little something every day. Whether it's writing out affirmations, listening to a subliminal, listening to Rife or Genius frequencies, right? Or a retreat. It's something every day. You can practice or do divination. People, and it really empowers people to use a pendulum, tarot cards. People even throw cocoa leaves, throw the bones, as they say. There's a lot of ways to practice divination because that develops your intuition. You can have a buddy that you rant to, you know. I have one. You can create what I call a self-soothing list, which is all the things that make you feel good. I recommend you write down 20 to 40 things that make you feel good. Some of the things on my list are a cup of tea, a hot bath or a hot shower, sitting on my couch, sitting in the sunshine, sitting on the grass barefoot, something like that. But you can create that. Those are things that are mostly healthy to do, right? Another thing I came up with, one of my soldiers taught this to me. He said, ma'am, progressive forward movement. Now, what I mean by that is if you're feeling stuck and you don't know, well, you just do the next right thing. You, whatever, push whatever it is forward. We make that phone call and you go, phew, at least that's done. Or you bring the kitten to the vet, or you do the thing, you pay the bill, or you clean that one window, something like that. Progressive forward movement can get you unstuck. I have another concept I teach called the next 5 minutes or the next 1 minute. When you're feeling really stuck, sometimes I know when I used to work as a chaplain in the military, I would come to work Monday morning carrying the weight and the burden of the whole week's work. And it was arduous. It was horrendous. And my soldiers would go, man, where's our chaplain? You're all grumpy. And I realized I just needed to just take, what's the next thing? What's the next question? The next phone call, the next email. It's just one email at a time. So I will teach people when you're feeling really stuck, if it's really bad, you can just do the next 1 minute. What's the next 1 minute? I only have to know about the next 1 minute. Okay. For me, back in the day when I was raising my 4 kids, it would be like, I just have to buckle this child in his car seat. That's all I have to do. Then I need to close the door without ramming his hand in between the car seat and the door. Okay. That might be biographical. And then I have to get into my seat, buckle my seatbelt, turn the car on. It's just the next minute, right? Sometimes when it's really challenging. And then you can upgrade to the next 5 minutes or the next 10 minutes to get that weight off of you. So I like that. You can get out in nature. You can learn something new, develop a new skill or hobby, take a class. They're all kind of the same thing. I have here earthing, which I mentioned, right? Another thing, you can do feng shui. You can organize and clean. I find sometimes when I'm stuck, if I just start organizing a messy pile, I feel better. And I think of it like this. I think an ordered mind leads to an ordered environment, an ordered home. An ordered home can help lead to an ordered mind. So cleaning up and or even throwing away or fixing broken and cracked things can also help. Just cleaning that up can be super helpful. Again, I've mentioned earlier, service to others, helping others is super great. Energy work, we talk about that all the time at SHUI and at CARE. There's thousands of different ways to do energy work. Some of the things are listed on the prior slide. Energy protection, learning how to protect yourselves energetically. Lots of ways to do that. Doing feng shui, as I mentioned, again, ordering your space in terms of the different parts of your room represent different things like love and relationship or money and wealth. You can order your world that way. It feels very good to do. There's a couple different types of feng shui. As I mentioned, you can get smart. You can read things. You can listen to things, listen to books. It doesn't always have to be silly, funny things are great. And they really do raise your vibration. But also learning is a very smart thing to do, just expanding your knowledge. That can really get you unstuck. You'll just read that one word, that one author, or listen to that one YouTube or TikTok that sets you on your way. Like, oh, right, I could do that, right? Of course, listening to music. Sometimes you can need to become a hermit or isolate yourself for a time. Again, trying something new. Also, things like binaural beats, different types of frequencies, subliminals. I find the Silva methods helpful, the gateway method, lucid dream work, astral projection work, Paramahansa Yogananda, came here to this country and developed the Self-Realization Fellowship. It's a yogic philosophy combined with Christian stuff, but it's a great way to expand your awareness, moving toward Kundalini or a type of Kriya Yoga if you're interested. You can find a guru or a mentor or a teacher for a time. But I wouldn't say for the rest of your life, no gurus long-term, but find someone to help along the way, such as a coach. You can do nutraceuticals and fasting. So I'd love to know what you think about this and the kinds of things you'd like to learn. I have maybe 5 more videos I'm thinking about. And I just thank you so much for listening. Take care.